Hey Candice, this is Frederick. We spoke on the phone earlier, and today I wanted to share three super quick and easy things you can start doing today to start beating the competition. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste mine, so I'm going to get straight to the point. I took a look at your website, and I wanted to say you guys are really off to a good start. I commend you. Yeah, you guys are off to a good start. But I wanted to help you get into the number one position because why stop at number three or number two when you can be number one? And there's a big difference between number two and number one. I'll get to that shortly. But I took a look at your website, and the first thing I wanted to talk about was content. You guys look like you have about 838 words of content on your home page. Google likes to see between 1,000 to 1,500 words of content with keywords embedded in that content when it starts ranking you to beat the competition. The more words, the better. By contrast, your competitor has over 2,000 words on their homepage with keywords embedded. So they're definitely dominating when it comes to content on the homepage. So when we increase the number of content on your homepage, you can start dominating them instead of the other way around. So I did a quick search of your services in your area, heating and cooling Boise, and like I said, you guys are off to a great start. You guys are number three in the map pack. I'll talk about how you can become number one because there is a big difference between number two and number one. And you're also number three in organic search. As you can see, they're number two. So the difference between the number one and two spot is the number one position gets between 30 to 40% of all the clicks. Number two gets between 20 to 30%, and number three gets between 15 to 20%. And that's a big difference, and I'll show the numbers in a quick second. So the first thing I've talked about is content and embedding keywords in that content. The second thing is links. Right now you have some other websites linking to your website, and the way links help you out is that links, when other websites link to your website, they're basically telling Google, hey, this website is interesting. You should, look at it and consider it. And then Google will push you to the top and higher in the search rankings. So you've got about 719 links coming in from sources like the Better Business Bureau, CSI, Boise State. And this is a great start. You guys are number three and number two positions, which is good. But the difference between number three and number two, just to give you an example, as number three, you guys are getting 553 people to your website every month. As number two, your competitor, here's your competitor right now, WheatCool, they're getting 1,100 people every month. So that's a big difference between number three and number two. So that's why it's important to even get into the first position because you'll be getting even more than 1,100 people every month. So I showed you the links that you're currently getting. What are the links that your competitor is getting, and how can you get those links too? Well, these are the websites that are linking to your competitor. If you have an IT person or an SEO person, they can go out to these same websites and also get you links as well. I'm just scrolling down so that whoever your SEO person is, they can go to these same websites and get you the links as well. If you need any help or assistance, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But once you start getting these links, you'll start outranking this guy because honestly, he shouldn't be getting all your customers. You should be getting a chunk of them as well because more customers means more business means more money in your pocket. And that's what every business owner wants. So we've covered two things so far: content with keywords in those content and links. Now, the keywords that you're currently being found for, you're being found for 958 keywords. You lost 60 this month, but that's okay. Doing the Google best practices, you can possibly reclaim these and even more even. So these 958 keywords that you're being found for include your brand name and other generic keywords such as heating and cooling Boise. There's 200 people searching for that, 27 people coming to your site out of those 200 people, so on and so forth for these other keywords. Now, what is the competitor being found for, and how can you also be found for them? Well, they're being found for over 2,100 keywords, and those keywords include generic phrases like furnace repair Boise, Boise heating and air. The way you can start being found for these keywords and start taking a chunk of this traffic so that they're not just going to your competitor is you can take these keywords and use them in your content. Use them strategically. If you overdo it or if you do it wrong, Google will flag you and there will be penalties for that. But if you do it correctly and strategically, you can start ranking for these keywords today and start taking these customers so that they're coming to you instead of just to your competitor. So the two things we've covered so far are content with keywords embedded in your content, and number two, links. And the links and the content will help you rise to the top of Google organic search. Now, like I said, how can we get you from number 3 in the map pack to number 1? That brings us to the third point. That's citations. What exactly are citations? Citations are your name, address, and phone number listed across the web. The more places, in other words, if you have more websites, other websites like Yelp.com, Angie's List, Home Advisor, Yellow Pages, all those things, if you have your name, address, phone number listed on those websites, Google will take that into account and start pushing you from number 3 higher into number 2 and then into number 1. So remember, name, address, phone number. We say NAP for short, NAP, name, address, phone number. And they have to match when you list them on other websites. They have to match exactly how they're listed on your website. So if you misspell diamond on Yelp.com by mistake, Google will not regard that. So it'll be a lot of work for not. So you want to just make sure that when you're doing your citations and listing your NAP on other websites, that it matches exactly how it's listed on your website. And once you implement those three things, the content with keywords, the links, and the citation, you'll start rising up in the rankings and start getting more customers and more money in your pocket. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My name's Frederick. Otherwise, I trust you have a great day. Cheers.